Hello, everyone. You gonna sit? Good. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, guys. As we are letting some people in the Zoom room, we'd like to welcome you to another Sunday. We've been off a Sunday.
Man, we've been off. We took Labor Day. It was Labor Day, right? Mhm. Yeah. We took Labor Day. We're gonna sit down for y'all. We took Labor Day off.
Mm-hmm.
Gave everybody a chance to enjoy a awesome Labor Day. Labor Day, although up in the Bay Area, full of smoke. Full of smoke. We saw some strange sights this week.
Yes, we did.
Orange skies, yellow skies. Day was dark the whole day, but so that means we took in a lot. What did they say? You can breathe outside and the smoke can get inside. If you got an old house, it slips through the windows and the cracks.
Mhm.
So for some of you who got my message, I talked about trying to deal with some smoked up lungs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Smoky lungs.
Yeah. And it's interesting because it just really depends on, how you get affected. Like, for example, for me, I don't necessarily consider myself as one to have like a history of asthma or, I mean, bronchitis when I was like a little girl.
Mhm.
But I have found that the smoke, at least around here in the Bay Area, and I know most of
Mhm.
California is suffering from the smoke, but I've noticed that as soon as I walk outside, my throat will start bothering me, or I'll start coughing. And so I have found myself to, at least react that way.
Yeah. So those are one of the signs. And if you've been experiencing that through these fires in California, some of you may
Mhm.
not be in California, but wherever you are, we're just letting you know that over here we have a really full of skies full of smoke, and it really won't clear
Right.
till Tuesday. That's what they're saying. And
That's
every
what
time
we're
they say it's
hoping.
going to clear, we need some wind, we need some rain, but in the meantime, we're glad that you joined us. So welcome. Those of you who are new, welcome. We see a couple of you new on the line. Welcome. We're glad that you could join us. We've been talking about health for several weeks, really since the COVID
Right.
had us all shut in for a little bit.
That's right.
And so we just want to give you tidbits. Are you a doctor?
No, I'm not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor.
Mm-mm.
We're not children of doctors.
Nope.
We got one or two that are friends. They might do this. So what we are sharing with you is not diagnosis. It's prescription.
That's right.
We're just simply trying to say this is what has helped us, and some of our research has shown it'll help you to make a difference. And some of you who've been on, you can probably testify in the chat how well this has impacted your life. We would certainly appreciate that
Yep.
because all we're doing is just trying to keep our people alive,
That's all we're trying
surviving,
to
making
do.
it through.
That's right. And it's interesting because when we first started this health talk, it was really dealing with the pandemic, with
Mhm.
COVID-19 and the virus, and how to try to get our health together, to battle that. And now, if you live anywhere on the West Coast, whether it's California, Washington,
Mhm.
Oregon, and
Mhm.
even parts of Canada are dealing with these fires.
Yeah,
So
smoke everywhere.
so now we're not only dealing with fighting the virus, but today we're gonna talk about. We've talked about cleansing things, but we're gonna talk about like what are some things that are good to cleanse our lungs.
Help those lungs out, you know, get that mucus through because sometimes we can breathe in something. We don't know what's in this smoke. So
No.
sometimes just our everyday life, we can breathe in some metals. We can get all kind of chemicals. They lodge in our lungs, lodge in tissues. So that's what we want to help you with to be able to flush some of that out or help the food that we are going to show you today will carry it out and help you to be, you know, be better, feeling good.
Right. And it's interesting because at least for those of us that are in California, well, we're in shelter in place, but there's, recently because of the air quality, that's also been something that they're like, well, we recommend, it's unhealthy air quality that, you stay inside. So,
Mhm.
and one of the things that we were reading in an article
Right.
was that in an article it was talking about how if you have an older home, you're probably smelling some of the smoke coming inside of your ventilation system, and particularly if you don't have like an HVAC system or an air conditioning unit. And so, that's one of the things we've been experiencing, renting an older model home, that even when this, we've been staying inside, like going in from, inside from our house to then our car to then driving wherever.
Mhm.
But sometimes we can even smell the smoke
Correct.
coming in through the ventilation systems. And so, we've like today we put a humidifier on a pretty large gallon humidifier with some essential oils, because the air has been really dry as well. I mean,
Yes.
it's dry in California anyway, but I've noticed that since the fires and the smoke, the air has been especially dry. So that's one thing that we've been using in terms of, trying to keep the air more moist,
Mhm.
and, using some essential oils. I think we use tea tree and eucalyptus to try to help open up those airwaves and kind of sort of, and you can talk more about this, kind of sort of to get like a sauna, uh, like a cool sauna effect with that moisture.
Mhm.
And so in your experience in doing like the steam rooms and the sauna rooms, what has been your experience and what drives you to do those?
What drives me is the nasal passages can get real dry all the way up to the nasal passage kind of gets the back of the where you have sinus issues,
Mhm.
drops down. Sometimes you get a little drainage, comes
Mhm.
down through the throat. Sometimes that can be very dry.
Mhm.
Or sometimes you wake up and you have to bat your eyes a lot. So when I find that, I know that the air quality is dry. So I try to find my way to a sauna. Used to be in the old days, steam rooms. I don't know how many go to steam rooms. What are those natural um, boiling waters from the earth? Springs,
Hot
hot
springs.
springs. They all do the same effect. It's really trying to get you to breathe in, get that dryness wet, so that if there are any particles up there, it kind of drains it and pulls it out. So I used to belong when I was in LA, LA Fitness, even down there in Riverside, Hemet area. Belong to LA Fitness. Go there, work out, hit the sauna room. Up here is called City Sports. I like that. All that's closed right now until it opens up for. So you have to kind of create your own.
That's what I was about to
Which is
say.
what we're
So,
doing here.
right. So, exactly. That's what I
Yeah.
was about to say is that, the shelter in place. And so, gyms are closed for us up here, or I think all over the state of California. Maybe there might be some counties that might start to be open in terms of the gym. But that I was gonna say. So one of the ways that we mentioned to try to create that type of atmosphere is using a humidifier, and maybe towards the end we can show you what our humidifier looks like. I know that we bought it in Target, I think it was.
Mhm.
Um,
So if you want to do something on your own, I wouldn't suggest, but you need a pan a little bigger than this, right? Um, as hot as you can take it. Put some essential oils in there. If you don't have oils, you can do Himalayan salt or some sort of salt content. Put your feet in it. If you don't want to do salt, you can do straight water. Apple cider vinegar is really, really good. It's going to help draw. You're going to put that, make it hot, get you a towel. Put over that and let the steam come up. That'll create a homemade sauna effect. And you'll find some things draining. You'll find some I don't want to say bugs, but you're going to find some things coming out that you want out. Hallelujah. Because Jesus said he came to set the captives free. That's what we're here to do, to be part of his discipleship.
That's right.
To pass the love on to our people joining us on the Zoom. It seemed like they had to answer some questions though.
Yes, there
Coming
were.
aboard.
Yes,
All right.
there were some questions that they answered. So one of the questions was, are you around chemicals frequently? Whether it's cleaning products or maybe your job, or maybe people smoking, or maybe you're dealing with a smoking habit. So that was one of the questions.
I can tell my story, like 1983 or somewhere around there. We were able to transition. This is a former experience, transition to the seminary in Michigan. And so to make work, I went and worked in this furniture factory. A lot of shellacking, a lot of getting the furniture ready, et cetera, et cetera. Some people wore masks. I didn't. I'm from California. I didn't think that was so cool. But then developed the film on my lungs. So when I went to the doctor with bronchitis, I thought it was asthma attack. They found bronchitis. They told me to quit that job because chemicals were coming through and causing all kind of issues there. And so I quit the job and said, go to a place where there's air conditioning, because it was in the hot heat of the summer, and just sit there. That was to help ease the issues of my lungs. So that's what I did. And since then, I got back to some of the things we're talking about right here, is try to get more steam, more hot water, take a hot shower, close the door, put a towel on the bottom, let the steam pack your bathroom, and just breathe that in. If you have some essential oils, like you said, the eucalyptus, you can put it in a spray bottle really and just spray it in the air and it'll start to open up.
Right.
So all those are good.
Yeah, and I was about to say that one that you're saying. My boys from little suffered from asthma. I mean, it's gotten better as they've gotten older, but that's one of the things that I would do. To do like to run the shower,
right,
and the steam from the shower, and like you said, close the bathroom, put a towel underneath so it gets all steamy. And then I would take drops of essential oils and drop them in the bathtub.
Yes, there you go.
And so as the, as the steam and sometimes I'd be like, I would be like, no, I'm not asking you to get under the water, just kind of stand there and, breathe in, and breathe in the steam along with the essential oils. And what that would do is start breaking up. You would hear the phlegm and stuff start breaking up.
Yeah, that's what you want with that cough. If you're not used to that, because they make these fancy showers now that's full of, what's that, plastic or fiberglass or something like that. But one of the ways I was taught back in high school was you get your small little chair and you actually put it in to the shower. Put towels down because they could heat up. Turn the hot water on. Don't let it hit you. Let it just kind of hit the tub and just enjoy the steam that way. That was another good way to open up. So what we're trying to do is get your passages opened up where it's kind of drying up.
Right.
Chemicals can lodge in and all of that.
Right. And it's interesting that you say chemicals can lock in. And I try not to get too scientific or too technical, but you're right in that, in how our bodies have been built. When you think of your nasal passages, you already have those little hairs in your nasal passages, and they're there to help trap, like a filter. They're there to help trap some of those particles.
Sometimes we get a little embarrassed, so we mow the lawn.
Well,
and then it just goes right.
I mean, yes, if it's growing outside of your nose, you might want to do that. But they're there. But even still, sometimes those things will go in, and those same little type of hairs are also in the linings of our lungs as well. They're there to filter.
That alveoli.
The villi.
You got to go Italian with that.
So so there's that. But I want you to tell, because you introduced me to this, the neti pot.
Oh my God.
I want you
yes.
to talk about that.
Oh man. If you all know what a neti pot is, just say yes. I just want to know what it is. Yes.
While you talk about it.
Yes. So
I'll
she's
be
gonna
right
go
back.
bring my neti pot. All right. So this neti pot is you can actually this is gonna sound a little funny, hose your nose out. Some are way more sophisticated. I've got a very simple one that I will show you when it comes, called a neti pot, and you can actually rinse out your nose. And when you have it warm enough, you can either do straight salt, or you can mix in whatever your nose can take. But anyway, you mix it in the water. I heat water on the oven in a pot, and then you can go to the store. We got this from a health food store, probably like you can go to Henry's, I believe Whole Foods, Sprouts, and this is what it looks like. So this part is going to go into your nostril. So you're going to fill this part with water. Boom. This is the salt you'll put in the pot. All right. So it depends on how much you want to rinse. So you put a little pinch of that in the pot, let it warm and stir a little bit, and it's warm. So you want it basically as hot as you can take it, but make it warm, and then you pour it up your nose, and it'll go in there and clean the nasal passage and drop stuff. You'll see some weird stuff at first, but it'll start cleansing, and everything you thought when you blew your nose was out. This'll go in there and take it all out. Neti pot.
Yes, and this one is a porcelain one. They've come up with all different
They got some
kinds
fancy ones
now.
now.
They have some that are plastic, and my only thing about, they're the plastic ones are less expensive. And so if you don't, if you're on a budget or whatever, then definitely go with that one. If you can avoid the plastics, that would be the best. And then I've also seen a commercial where they have, I don't know, it's called Navage or something, but they have one that's like already like motorized or something.
You can do
and
it
you
for
just, you just put it in there, and then it has its own section. So, if you're a little, queasy about, putting this up your nose and then having to tilt over for the stuff to come out, some people are kind of funny about that.
Right.
So they've improved on this, and this is ancient practice.
That's ancient. They've been doing this.
This is ancient practice.
If you're able to do an enema, neti pot, you're gonna really cleanse out both areas of your body. Hallelujah, somebody. And they learned about an Egyptian bird that's in Egypt. And the bird had a beak long enough that it would actually go to the pond, water, lake, pull the water in its beak, be able to
give its own enema.
Give its own enema. Thank you, because I was about to say something really weird, but and flush out, and that's how they kept the strength up and everything like that. Yeah. So because of the foods we eat, we have to get creative.
Yes.
And so these products come out for that. But I guarantee you, if you're starting to feel sick, you're starting to feel some sinus pressure, you're starting to get headaches, ear aches, you do this neti pot, it starts flushing out that canal. And so it opens up everything from your nose, your mouth can testify, your ears, your throat. So these are all connected. That's what they call it, the ear, nose, throat doctor.
Yes, that's
all he's,
it's all connected.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, I need to bring the other thing that you put in your ear, the hydrogen.
Oh yeah.
So talk to me.
So I learned this from one of my Haitian members. Shout out to I forgot their last name, but Hervé and Judith, Thomas. Anyway, Hervé was an excellent organist at church in San Bernardino. I pastored. Judith was one of the praise leaders, one of the directors of choir there. But anyway, they told me about hydrogen peroxide. So your little wax build up, itching in your ear, etc. You go to the doctor, you pay him a lot of money to pull out a bunch of wax. This is where God helped you to save some money. So you're gonna take this, pour it in a little bottle like that, take the little what we call this thing?
Dropper.
Dropper, thank you. Yeah, they don't pay me the big bucks to remember all these highfalutin things. Just get this, put in there, take a couple of drops, put it in there. Now, what hydrogen peroxide will do is you'll hear it it'll start going through some issues. So it'll feel like it's crackling in the ear, but it's going to work. So then you want to drain that out, lean your head back to the side, drain it out. You can try certain essential oils if you want to try that mixture. It'll just be a little, it can, I don't want to say burn, but you'll feel it working. So you want to try just a little peroxide at first. Sometimes olive oil, a little bit of that might help. That's softened up some things for me in the past too. So these are things that will help you kind of unhitch.
Yes, and this is the regular hydrogen peroxide that you would find in the pharmacy aisle or what have you. Make sure that it says 3% hydrogen peroxide. That's the kind that you want to buy. And you know what? I've used it, especially when I'm having sinus issues. Here recently, my ear started hurting, and so put some of the stuff in there and put the drops in there. And people are like, well, how much should you put in there? That really depends on your comfort level. And some people suggest that you put in a whole dropper full, right? But for some people, that might be like, what, a whole dropper full of hydrogen peroxide?
Yeah, you got to get it down in there.
Yeah, so maybe you might feel more comfortable going little by little, right? So you put like half the dropper in there, and then you see that you're still alive, and then nothing happened.
Your head didn't fall off.
Right, and then your ear didn't hurt worse than what you thought it might, and then you might feel like, oh, okay, I think it'll be okay, and put the rest in there. Definitely, you should be laying on this side, and then put the get a cotton ball, put it in there, and then then you'll lay on that side as the stuff drains out.
Another procedure is called the ear coning or ear waxing. This is a procedure I've had mine done at colonics places, but they have candles. I got a couple around here, but they're candles, wax candles, and then you go in there and they put a little paper cover your ear, but the wax, they light the candle, put it by your ear, and the wax begins to melt, and it falls really into the container, the little paper container.
Mm-hmm.
So the wax has been this long coming out of either of my ears. So that's how deeply things store up in there and cause a lot of headaches, cause a lot of, some people get dizzy.
Right.
Some people have what they may experience like a vertigo, room spinning.
Yes.
This stuff deep down in there. So that's the buildup. So today we want to get those chemicals out. If that was the last question, you're going to show us.
No, it wasn't. That was just the first question.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we stayed so long on that. But if you ever done any ear coning, ear waxing, just let me know. Just say yes, Pastor, I've done that, or yes.
Yeah. So the second question was just basically, have you been exposed to the smoke from the fires, smoky days, ash on vehicle? So that was just basically that maybe you're not exposed to chemicals, or maybe you don't smoke, or maybe you're not around people that are smoking. But if you out here in the West Coast, you definitely have been exposed to some of the smoke. I know when we walk out, we see that ash on our cars.
Yes. We've had some struggles out here. But you can also, if you've been in the LA area, San Bernardino area over the years, they cleaned it up. You've had what you call heavy smog days. And that was rough on people's lungs.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
You have to find a way to cleanse.
Right. And exactly. You have to find a way to cleanse. And then the last question was, do you suffer now, or maybe in the past, from respiratory issues such as asthma, bronchitis, maybe COPD, I don't know. I mean, there's emphysema. That was the question. And that means that if you have suffered in the past from it, or you are suffering now, it's very important to do the cleansing, right? And we talk about cleansing. We've talked about colon cleansing. We've talked about a little bit about liver and some of your organs. And so today we're really focusing on your lungs, because people don't realize on a day-to-day basis the things that we might be exposed to, and also and definitely here recently, what we have been exposed to. Someone just shared that they had an ear coning done.
Yeah, how was it?
Um,
What do you think? Do you recommend it? Do you feel that it did something valuable for you? Just let us know.
and so with that being said, I do want to share. It came to my mind something an experience that my mom had. For years she worked in custodial work for a school district, and she retired. She eventually retired. But as she was nearing her years of retirement, she had gone to the doctor for whatever her regular checkup was. And the doctor said that they had found like a small dark spot in her lung. And they weren't really too sure, of what it was. And because she was born in Honduras, for some reason, every time they do the TB testing, she would always test positive, although she never had tuberculosis. But the doctors would tell her, well, maybe because she was exposed to it from living in another country, what have you. So anyway, so it was that dark spot. And and in having a conversation, it hit me. I said, well, Mom, I said, those chemicals that you work with are pretty strong, wouldn't you say? And she was like, yeah. She's like, but you get exposed to it for so much that you get used to it. I know when I would go visit her and I would smell, I'm sensitive to it anyway, but when I would smell those chemicals, it would hit me like, woof, like, oh my gosh, right? But she was like, that's what she does. Anyway, I think within that year, she was already going to retire. Long story short, a couple of years later, she went back, and that dark spot from her lungs was gone. So sometimes we're not privy to the type of stuff that we might be exposed to.
Right.
And it's not like it was a requirement for her as a custodial worker to wear a mask, right? Or not necessarily a hazmat suit, but some type of mask, maybe the N95 ones or whatever, to try to filter out some of that stuff. So you just never know. And so we're looking at some of our chat has been busy. So the experience this person said they've had a number of ear conings, and it was helpful. I was dizzy, ears plugged up, etc. I had an ear wax buildup. Yeah.
So that's why I want you to all to remember, if your equilibrium's off, don't just think you're old. Go find out the path, because this is the equilibrium center.
Yes.
So they get a little dizzy, they got to go in there and get stuff out. So make sure that passageway is clean. Even when your children say, oh man, I feel dizzy, my head, the room's spinning, we want to make sure you find some way of getting some cleansing done first before you go check out the doctor.
Right.
Unless they fall in and hit their head, and that might be more of a serious need for intervention.
Right. And I have yet to try that ear coning.
But you have something close.
I have also used. Oh yeah. So
remember, you were like.
Yes. So yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. I did, end up having to go to the doctor For I don't know, I was having some type of sinus issue or
Mhm.
something like that, and they did the ear check, and they were like, yeah, you have, you have wax buildup. And so, and I'm sure many of you have experienced that if you've gone to the doctor where they, irrigate your ear. And so that's what it was. It was an ear irrigation, but I was sitting on a chair and I was tilted over, and I mean that water was rushing through my ear so fast that I felt like the room was spinning. I thought I was gonna fall over. I know you were there and you probably thought, what is wrong with her? Because I grabbed onto my chair thinking that I was about to fall out. But I wasn't. I just felt that way because of what was happening, like you were saying, the balance and what was happening in the middle ear.
Nice
So
oil.
this person has also used camphor oil in their ears, and that helped. And they're also sharing that they read an article that said Alzheimer's can be linked to plugged up ears.
Amen. So y'all get that.
So you never know. You never know what all what all can be happening when you are stopped up. Whether it's your nose, your ears, and all of that. And then someone else shared that they found that ear coating was very gentle.
It'll be all right. It's good.
Yeah.
Sit there and just let your ear crackle a little bit. You'll be all right. That's just the sound of it. It's nothing happening to your ear except the heat is drawing the wax up out of there, and that's what you want. You want that joyful experience. All right. So you're going to show us some way to
Yes, I was
clean
trying.
some of this.
I was trying to write the recipe.
Yes.
So I could share it with you. But I'm still doing that.
Yes. Any questions? I will tell you that you'll. I mentioned this a few weeks ago. If you're having any symptoms of metal in your system, okay, so it could be groggy eyes, could be fatigue, could be your kidneys feel weak, you get little issues in the back, some shoulder disturbance. You may have some metals floating around, and this is not that you go and eat metal, or that you're drinking well water or picking up some minerals or rust. Is just simply floating in the air. Some of you may work in and around chemicals or companies that put out some chemicals. So, but you can go to where you can, it's called an ionic, I hope I'm saying that right. Berta, you may have to help me with that. Ionic procedure done, put your feet in this, put your feet in the pan, and they do it about 30 minutes. It kind of bubbles, but what it's doing is drawing every metal that's in you out, and the metals come out different colors. Yellow means something. Orange means something. What I mean when it means something is that orange means that your liver could be where the metals were at, or your lungs could be another color. That could be blue. Black could mean something else. So you'll see that come out in the pan. And then you'll know that these metals are being taken out because they're very dangerous or can cause a lot of issues in the system. So you want to check that out. You can ask colonics, chiropractors, and sort of find out what that what is.
So in the chat it says it was ionic foot bath.
That's it, ionic foot bath.
And someone shared that they've had that done before, and the water came out dark blue.
Yes, yeah. So you had a lot of whatever that color was connected to.
Right.
I want to say it's probably lungs. So you began to pull some of those metals out of your lung. I haven't looked at that in a while, so I'm not up on my game with that today. But
okay, and someone shared that they've had it a number of times.
Yes.
So
those are really good. I think I was introduced to that ionic bath, foot bath from her. So that was really good.
So are we using your
which one we can do
to show? So we've talked about just things that you can do in terms of just regular remedies, but definitely your food, right? We've been talking about let thy food be thy medicine. So definitely your foods can be cleansing foods, and like I said, we've talked about the the different types of cleansings. We've talked about the colon cleanse. We've talked about um, kidney cleanse, a liver. Actually, not too much about kidneys. We haven't gotten to that part yet, but we've talked about the liver for sure. And so what I'm gonna show you here is just foods, and you'll find that some of the you'll find that some of these foods you're gonna see some repetitive stuff, okay? Because whatever cleanses everything pretty much. So what I'm gonna show you is I call it a cleansing salad, okay? So what you see in this bowl is a bunch of fresh dandelion greens, okay? Now, dandelion greens, yes, these are the greens from the dandelions that maybe as a child you would pick and, you would blow and the little things would spread away. And, basically we see them as weeds and, we probably kill them and stuff like that. But this is what this is. Not that we recommend that you walk around and, pick the leaves from any old dandelion. That's not necessarily recommended if you're not familiar with what you're doing, but you can definitely grow these as part of your garden. And I know we have several people on here that are gardeners. And so maybe dandelion is something that is also a part of your your garden. And if not, it's good because the dandelion is very medicinal. It's a cleanser, and not only a blood cleanser, but it also it cleanses everything basically. So we're adding this, and I'm gonna use half of this.
Amen. Thank you for saving.
Because I'm gonna save some for another recipe that we're going to show you. And so these are kind of long. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of cut them in half. Okay. Well, not in half, but probably like in thirds to put in my salad. Now, if you've ever tasted dandelion greens, they're similar to the taste of like arugula. Okay. So they do have a little bit of a bitter taste, but the bitter taste is good because bitters let you know that, hey, we're in there to fight stuff. We're in there to cleanse stuff. Another thing that I'm going to add, and I really like this product, it's called Organic Girl, and these are super greens. These have baby greens. So this is a mixture of red and green Swiss chard, tatsoi, arugula, and spinach. So I'm going to use some of this, and I'm going to put it in this salad as well. So we have a good mix of green in here. And so then what I'm going to add to that is these cherry tomatoes. All right, so adding some of those in there. I like this brand also, Del Cabo. These are organic, and we actually got these from Farmer Joe's for a good price. So I love these, so I'm going to use some more. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a key lime. And what would you say is the difference between a key lime and a regular lime, other than the fact that obviously the key lime is much smaller?
Okay, so the key lime is way more potent in its juice. It will flavor with just a little bit of squeeze on it.
Right.
Yamada uses it for even spraying on popcorn,
Yes.
and it gives it a unique pungent, but it's good.
Yes.
It's
and if you notice, it's full of seeds.
mhm.
And like again, if you are a gardener and you're growing your own stuff, that's the best. But I have found also here recently that anytime I buy limes at the grocery store, the seeds are hard, more and more I find limes when I cut them up, they don't have the seeds. So these have seeds in them. And so I'm going to go ahead, for time's sake, taking out some of the seeds. And then I'm going to squeeze some of this into my salad. Now I'm not going to eat this whole thing, so I should say into our salad. All right. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and add the other one. All right. And the reason why I like to add a lot of lime, besides the fact that it's a good cleanser, anything citrus is going to go in there and break up stuff. But it also can kind of replace the salt. Now, I'm not going to, I'm not talking about that you should replace the salt completely, but it also helps so that you don't have to put like a whole bunch of salt on stuff. And so I'm also going to add avocado to the salad. All right. And try to do this as quickly as possible. And so I like to, if you notice that, I like to dice up the avocado in the avocado. So that way I just squeeze it out and it's already diced. And avocados are good fats. And, one of the things that I was actually studying, helping my students in biology this week, we were talking about lipids. And we were talking lipids, meaning fats, and how they are important in our body. Most people don't realize that, good fats are needed because our brain has fat in it. Our cells, the cell membrane of our cells is made up of, it has a lipid membrane. And so fats, plant fats are definitely important for even on the cellular level. So that's that. That looks pretty. It's all green and it has red in it. And these, like I said, these are power packed baby greens with dandelion in it. And we already talked about what a great cleanser dandelion is. But a salad is not complete without a great dressing. So what I'm about to share with you, I actually have the recipe for this dressing, and I'll share it with you on the screen if you would like to write it down. But basically, what I have in here is a cup of garbanzo beans. I have apple cider vinegar in here. I have avocado oil in here. I have a garlic clove, and I also have basil, fresh basil, and a little bit of the Himalayan pink salt. I have also squeezed in some of the key lime in here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the blender. Oh, great. I did it. First try. And I'm going to go ahead and blend it. Oh, now there's also some spring water in here too. Turn it off. All right. The top is on there pretty. All right, it's creamy looking. And I'm gonna go ahead and pour that bad boy in there. Okay, with the whole thing. And then, you know, go ahead and toss it. All right. So nice and freshly tossed. This smells, I wish you guys could smell this. This smells so good. And it's amazing how you can really smell when you're using the freshest ingredients. So I'm going to share in the screenshot. I mean, not the screenshot, but on the screen. I'm going to share with you the recipe. So let me go ahead and share this with you. All right. So you should be able to see what I used. So it was a cup of garbanzos, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 clove of garlic, 4 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. Oh, yeah, the avocado. So that's optional. If you want it creamier, you can add 1 avocado in there and you can make it creamier. Or as you saw me do, I decided to dice up the avocado and put it in the salad. 2 fresh basil leaves, 1 lime, and it's a key lime, and then a pinch of the pink sea salt. And that is, and that's really it. Very simple, as you could see, to make. And now we're going to move on to a cleansing drink, So, and then you can, you know, put in the chat if, for later if you'd like to see the recipes again. Then I can put it back up on the screen for you. So, this is a variation of a juice that we've done in the past. So it's going to be a combination of the liver cleansing juice. Okay, so we're gonna juice this, and so our juicer has somewhat of a wide mouth, but it's not exactly 100% wide mouth. So it usually goes faster if I'm able to, you know, chop up my apple. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put this apple in the juicer. And those of you that have been following us along, I believe this juice was one of the ones that we made. It might have been our first head talk. I'm not sure. Now there are all kinds of juicers. And I don't know that we're going to get into all the different kinds of juicers. But if you're like on a budget and you're trying to find a juicer, I believe we got this one. We're in Target, and it's an Oster brand. And, you know, it works pretty good. So let me make sure that it is on there. Sorry about the noise, guys. And then the other thing that I'm going to add to it is ginger. Okay. Oh, I forgot an apple piece. So I'm going to put the apple. Now, Granny Smith apples, okay? These are good cleansers, right? And I'm putting the ginger in there. I'm going to put this on mute so you don't have to hear all that noise. And then what you'll see here is some of the juice. Now, I'll say this, just for time's sake, you would want to put more than just one apple, as you see the other apples. So 2 or 3 apples are usually good with a half a clove of ginger. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to another powerful cleanser to create a more powerful drink. And I'm sure most of you, or some of you on here, I know this looks like a coffee pot, and this it is. And this is some dark liquid in here, but this is actually a tea. And what's in this tea? Well, definitely ginger is one of the things. The other thing that is, the other 2 things are cloves. All right, those of you that are familiar with cloves, right? So it has cloves in there. Hold on. All right, please. Are you able to let me know in the chat if you're able to hear me? We might be having some issues. So if you can type, I think you should be able to hear me now. So what I was saying is that in this particular tea, it has cloves, it has ginger, and it also has, some of you are probably familiar with this. All right, these are hibiscus flowers, okay, hibiscus flowers. All right, and if you go to the Latino markets, it comes in a packet, and basically this is what it says, right? Jamaica, right? But this is hibiscus flowers. So I make a tea out of those 3 ingredients. So hibiscus, ginger, and cloves. So now what I'm gonna do, now I've let the tea cool. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add it to my juice. Okay. I'm gonna try to do half and half. Okay. And, you know, for a hot day or whatever, you want to make this like an iced tea, you can add some ice in it. All right. And this is, I don't even know what to call this drink, but it's, you know, the hibiscus tea along with the apple and ginger. So this really has double ginger because the ginger was brewed in the tea, and then you saw the ginger as well. So ginger, we can't stress enough how powerful of a cleanser ginger is. And as we were talking about cleaning the lungs and all that kind of stuff, ginger will definitely do that. And so that's my portion for today. We're going to go ahead and transition to what you're going to show us. I can smell this salad. This is really, really good. Can't wait to eat it as soon as we're done. All right, I'm waiting for the transition here.
Yes, we're just gonna move some things around. All right, so what I'm about to show you right now is straight from Dr. Sebi's ingredients of the attempt to get to the metal cleansing smoothie.
Yes.
That's what we're attempting to do. All right. The reason is because I don't have the bromide powder that comes from his place. And so that's straight out of the sea. It helps to do some more cleansing. Those of you know Dr. Sabi, you can go on his site, ask for bromide powder plus. If you're in Los Angeles, he's right there, and that'll help you. So we're going to be creative because I don't have the bromide powder. So the first thing I want to do is go back to where Sister Yamada told us about, because he suggests orange juice, right? This is going to cleanse it. We got oranges, right? And we have blueberries and bananas. That's what he's suggesting along with the bromide powder, all right? So what I'm going to do, I tried to cheat and use water because I know some of you go through changes about just the straight orange juice. But anyway, remember, you can water it down if you got a little diabetic issue. All right, I forgot what he said.
1 cup.
1 cup. I can't really see.
Yes, you're there.
Okay, so I'm at 1 cup of orange juice. All right. So now, all of those super greens Yamada was speaking of, we're gonna put the super greens in there. We got arugula, we've got dandelions, and we got the mixture of this super green.
Swiss chard.
Yes, Swiss chard. So man, if you ever want to know, and I'm just filling it full because it's not going to look like that. So this is going to cleanse it's going in there to take the toxins out of your body. So what I like to do is to break up the green and get the chlorophyll loose, the things loose in here in the greens. So I will simply try to get this going. And this is what it looks like. So we got orange juice and greens already cut up. So some people don't like to eat their vegetables. They can actually juice them just like this or have them broken up like that. Now we're going to add all the stuff. So I'm going to get what Jess was a Seville orange. You want to explain that? Over here, I believe it's Cara.
Yes.
It's the same. So it's more of a bitter orange. It's going to move you closer to a more lemony taste, but that's to help cleanse. All right. So when your mother was putting these things in this juice right here, the ginger, the citrus, the lime, this designed to go in there and break up gallstones, break up kidney stones, help to purge your liver. So that's what you want. So, but today when we went to Farmer Joe's, I found blood oranges. Hallelujah, somebody. Blood oranges. So they're going to be designed to do the same thing. So I've cut up 2 small blood oranges. All right. And as you see, this one's really peeled. So I just got it right down to the juice taste. All right. I'm going to have 2, what we call our bananas? Burro. I'll try to make sure I say it right. Burro bananas. All right.
Or in some places, it's Thai bananas.
Yes. So that's what you want. I'm putting the rest of the orange in there. And I've got 2 burros because I'm almost like doubling his recipe, but so that's 2. And then blueberries. The antioxidant. The thing is going to help purge and give you some purple good juice. The darker the berry, the what? Sweeter the juice. Anyway, so we just bought some really good grapes that were what?
Seeded.
Yes, they were seeded. All right. So there's our 1 cup. There's our orange juice. There's all that good, awesome, beautiful stuff in there. I'm sorry if I call this stuff, but it's really good. All right. And then we're going to stir this up. So here's what it's gonna look like. Look at that. Man, your system will be cleansed. Your system will be purified. All of the metals, the toxins in your body will be drawn to this and pulled out of your system, on the spur of the moment. Now I'm gonna cheat. Only Guillermo understands what I'm about to do.
Well, in Sadie's recipe, it also said to add a tablespoon
Oh, sorry.
of agave, but
Not
since
the
you're
table?
doubling it,
Okay, all right.
2 tablespoons.
I didn't put the table in there. That's all I want my people to know. All right, so we'll just so we have some really good tasting stuff, and here we go. I'm gonna pour right there into the glass. And my, there you have your toxic cleansing, metal cleansing smoothie. Ask you to help yourself enjoy the smoothie right there. And there you have it, folks. Man, you've gotten a real good deal. You got good salads. You got excellent smoothie that's going to help do the toxins. You want to drink this, go sit down somewhere, allow it to do its work. May have to go to the bathroom a little bit. That's fine. That's okay. That's perfect. It's actually eliminating the very things causing you the issues. So praise God that you're going to be set free by the meal prepared for you today.
All right. So we're gonna go and check the chat because our chat has been blowing up.
Oh, okay. Good.
Okay, I'm gonna check the chat. And we are going to answer some of your questions. All right. All right, so one of the questions was the recipe for, was it for the smoothie? Whoever asked that can, if you can expound which recipe it is that you are looking for. And I'm also checking, oh, the detox. Okay, so yeah, so the recipe for that one, I'm gonna give it to you in a minute.
Okay, so once again, I just want to emphasize, if you're going through some terrible headaches, some dizziness, you feel some discomfort in your lower back, feel something going down your leg, you got some crazy, inexplicable discomfort in your feet, all these are signs things have collected. What we're focusing on today is trying to get metal out, all right? So that's what we're focusing on. So that's what this smoothie was about. And you can make it even more juicier. It doesn't have to be as thick as what we've done. So yes, you have, is that you putting that up there? 1 cup orange juice.
Oh, you have that up there already?
No, somebody, Dr. Sadie Metal Cleanse Shake, somebody put that up, right? Or was that you?
No.
Okay, so there it is on the screen, folks. Hallelujah. Okay, so somebody put that up. Man, I'm proud of you all. Seville orange or blood orange and 2 Bordeaux or Thai bananas. They can go blueberries. Spoon of agave. That's right. You can do a couple of tablespoons. I doubled this recipe, but you'll see it. But this will be, I made it juicy enough so that you can drink it without it being so thick. So really, you don't, my thing is he has the orange juice for a reason because it's intentional. It's going in there to be abrasive and pull toxins out along with these blueberries and other fruits, those bananas. That Buro banana is especially made to deal with your body. And my body, it's got a lot more minerals, a lot more vitamins that you need from the plant base. It was closer to the original banana, by the way. These big long ones might be good. They might go bad quickly, but this burro, trust it,
Well, yes.
it's going to do well.
And so I'm gonna share with you guys that was the recipe in terms of what is exactly like on his
Mhm.
website.
Yes.
So on, as you can see on Dr. Sabi's website, those are the ingredients, and you can see where it was, basically you doubled it.
Mhm,
Okay. So it's one, basically a burro banana. So if you're making it just
Yes.
one single serving for yourself,
Right.
that would be the recipe. The only thing that we substituted
yeah.
was where it says watercress. You
Right.
can use watercress. We substituted the dandelion for the watercress. So either or can, you can interchange.
We didn't have the powder.
And we didn't add the organic apple. Okay.
Right.
So definitely, and then yeah, we don't have the powder.
We do have the organic apple juice, but I'll play around with that
Yeah, but
after we get off. But you can use this.
you can use an
Yeah.
an organic apple and put it in there.
Mhm.
There was a question on our YouTube channel, and that question had to deal with what you were saying earlier in terms of the live stream. I mean,
Mhm.
not the live stream, but the steaming.
Yes.
The question was, do you need to put a cold towel on your head when doing the steaming?
I mean, that you're probably experienced with old time remedies, but that really is to deal with the sweat. So sometimes you want to keep your head cool. So that's what it is. It depends on what you want to do. If you want to keep your head cool, so what happens is that the coolness runs the blood away from the spot. Okay, so if you got a headache, you want your feet hot and you want your head cold because that's why you put ice packs on.
Okay.
To get the swelling down. The blood has to go away. You want to bring the blood to it for healing, then you put heat on it, and that stirs up and brings that blood to the spot. So it depends on what you want. You go into and you have a headache, by all means, you see a lot of people put the coolness on. Some people put it around the neck, put the coolness around the neck to just try and keep the temperature and have the blood move so that the inflammation can go down and allow the toxic metals, the issues, the mucus to be able to go. So yes, you can use coolness, or you can just try it bland by just putting a towel over it and allowing the mucus to drain from your nose, from your throat. People do it differently, but that was the old remedy to deal with a headache. You put your feet in hot water and put a cold towel over it on your head and just sit there. I've seen them. I took one class, man, back in Virginia at I want to say Hampton. I may have that right, but it was one of the health retreats back on the East Coast. I forget it now, but it was Heartland. Thank you, Heartland Institute. So what you do is you lay on your back, you put so your feet are up in hot water that's on the bed, and then they put a cool towel on it, and that process is supposed to do that. The other one was I experienced, which is what Berta helps out with inner health care, and that was the Russian steam bath. So they put you in this container where only your head's out.
Yes.
And they put a little cool towel there because sometimes the heat can almost feel like it's going to burn your neck, but you put that towel there and you just sit there for 30, 40, maybe an hour, and you're just sweating all those toxins out. They're leaving your body. They're doing that. So sometimes I would go to that cold shower back to a real hot steam room, because what they were doing, the hot and cold treatment helps to stir up. So you got your circulation. Yeah, your circulation, so that blood's moving, and then the heat brings the healing part to it, and then the cold takes it back out. So that's what they want you to do when you do a have a cold.
Mhm.
Hot and cold treatments help to get that body moving, stirs up your immune system when you get the circulation going, and you can heal just about most, practically all.
Yes.
I'm just trying to repeat what they say at the natural health places. I saw a comment, so they might have been trying to help me out with some of the
Mm-mm.
inside information.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Just say it was just a thank
Okay,
you.
yes, you're quite welcome. So that you gotta love on yourself. You gotta be patient with yourself. Get a big enough pan. Like I said, I've seen the latest. They
Mhm.
put some apple cider vinegar in your hot water and put your feet in it, and then you can rub your feet afterwards, and all your dead skin and all that ugly looking feet will just start to turn pretty over that kind of treatment. But it also will draw. You'll see it draw.
Yes.
You'd be surprised what our feet can do. You like to do it way more than me, but it's good to walk around without socks a lot of times, because you're giving your feet your air, allowing that air to move, get more vibration to the ground. Animals understand this. I've seen some people do this to the poor dogs. Animals don't wear shoes. No, so there's a reason for that.
Mhm.
They like to feel the vibration of the earth. They rub their feet on the grass to
Yes.
get that vibration.
Yes.
They heal. They go to the bathroom. Sometimes you'll see them rub their feet, go to the bathroom, rub their feet again. It's because they call themselves trying to cover up what they just laid on the ground, but
Right.
that doesn't work. They just really getting the stimulation again
Right.
to do that. So follow, man. The animals can teach us a lot. if we
You know
follow.
what? And I think we've said this before, and I mean, we don't have pets, so we did.
Mhm.
I mean, before, not together, but
Right.
separately, we've had pets in the past, and so one of the things that's important, and we've talked about to realize, is that as much as we love our pets and we're like, they're part of our family, that's my little baby, that's my son, that's my child, however you refer to your pets, and you give them all the love, and that's wonderful. So long as you always remember that your pet is an animal and it's not a human, meaning that sometimes there are things that we do to animals that really are more detrimental to their health. One being like when we feed them what we eat, okay?
Mhm.
Their digestive system, they'll eat it, obviously, but their digestive system is not like ours. And so therefore, if you're definitely giving your, any, dog, cat, if you're giving them cooked food, what's happening to them is what happens to us, right? If we eat a majority cooked food, we've killed all the enzymes, we've killed all the vitamins and stuff like that. And so that's what happens to your pet. Think if you didn't have your pet and you just, when we talk about stray dogs and stray cats, and yes, sometimes people feed the cats, but if they were just out in the wild, we definitely know what a cat will do, right? We'll see a dead bird, or we'll see like a dead mouse.
Right.
That is how they were. That's how they were made. That's how they were built. Their digestive system doesn't need for you to cook the chicken or the meat or whatever it is that you're going to give the animal. Animals eat raw. And so like what you were saying in terms of, we like to put clothes on our animals and shoes on our animals, and they need, and then sometimes we don't let them go outside for very long, maybe just to relieve themselves, to pee or or whatever, and they need that fresh air. So.
And they have crossbreeded some of these animals
Yes.
that don't have the natural original immune system. So maybe you got to treat those a little different. I don't know. Y'all have to teach me, but
I will. And I think what you were saying is what the hybrids have done, the breeding has made a weaker, sometimes with some type of genetic disorder. So like you'll have pugs, for example, who have like really bad respiratory issues because of the genetic breeding that has, really messed up the nasal passage or airway. So, and then your teacup poodles, and those, obviously they can't live outside, because a hawk or something's gonna get them. You're not gonna see your dog, but definitely in terms of like making sure that you take your dog for longer walks
Care
and
for them,
then
yes.
care for them, and that you're there to guard from any hawk, taking off with them.
And don't be afraid to deworm them too.
Yes.
That helps. That helps
Yes.
with all the love that we give them. So we want you to be, we want you to be just as healthy too as they are. And
Yes.
it's good to see an owner and a pet be as healthy as can be.
Absolutely.
So that's what we encourage. Any questions?
Yeah,
any
if you have any
insights?
questions, you can write in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and you can go ahead and ask your question. We just want to encourage you specifically during this time of smoke and fires, even more so to make sure that you're doing your cleansing with your smoothies, your drink, your food, because I'm witness that anytime I'm off of that, and then I can start feeling congestion right away, and that's no fun. So.
All right, so we're gonna enjoy this cleansing if there are no questions.
Yes, we are. We're gonna enjoy the salad. We're gonna enjoy this drink, and this smoothie. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. Those of you on Zoom and those of you that are joining us also on YouTube Live, thank you so much. And stay tuned for next Sunday and also our hiking. So we've had to postpone our hiking for just weather, and it started with a thunderstorm, and then with the fires and the smoke, and so we're hoping that by next Sunday morning, the weather permitting, we'll finally be able to get out there and hike. And so we definitely want to invite those in the area.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock in the morning.
We'll be out
and
there.
We'll tell you exactly where it is that we're going to meet at. And if you haven't followed us yet on social media, we're on Instagram, Vibrant Village. We're on Facebook, The Vibrant Village. And we're also on YouTube in our channel. So please make sure that you follow us, tell others about us. We need to spread this health news to as many people as possible.
We love you all.
Thank you, guys.
Take care of yourself. Bye. Here's the good health. Here's the looking after our community. Here's the going up.